Hello, welcome to Simcha, a celebration of life. I'm your host, Nikki Wellman. Chanukah, which is also known as the Festival of Lights, commemorates the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem during the Maccabean Revolt. The festival is observed by the kindling of lights of a special candelabrum, the 9-branched Chanukah or menorah, for a period of 8 days.
It is very interesting. In the Talmud, there are two schools of thoughts of how to light the Chanukah, whether we should light 8 on the first night and gradually reduce 1 per day until on the last day only 1 will burn. The other opinion, which is the one we practice today, is Hillel's opinion, which says, no, when you're performing an act for the Almighty, it has to grow continuously 1 step at a time and until your whole life and your whole thought process is dedicated to performing that mitzvah, to perform that commandment. So Hillel says the first night we light 1, and every night for the 8 nights we add an extra candle until all 8 candles are lit. On the last day, it's the greatest of all the beauty, the completion of this great tradition and this great custom where light is a symbolism of knowledge in the Almighty. So we like to call ourselves the children of light. Here we have the Chanukah candelabra, which you will note is different to the temple candelabra. That was a 7-branched candelabra, but this one you will note it has 8, and those are the 8 nights of Chanukah. And of course you see a higher candle, sometime above, sometime behind, sometime below, and this one is of no real religious significance. Judaism tells us that the lighting of the Chanukah is for the sole and only purpose of remembering that great miracle of the oil. And the way we light is we start from the right side. This is the first night one. And the next night we add a second one, light the second, and then move to the third. Third night we add the third candle, light the third, then the second, then the first. Now they are lit with this upper one. This is called the shamash. Shamash means he who serves. This one is not religiously required. It's simply the medium by which we light the other candles. The Maccabees were an incredible band of highly dedicated people. It is also historically of great consequence to know that the Maccabees were not trained fighters. The Jewish people did not train fighters to fight war. The Jewish people raised family to worship the Lord. Who were these Maccabees? Of great and important note is they were actually the priests in the temple. Mattatyahu Kohen Gadol was his title. Mattathias, the high priest in the temple. He who symbolizes the worship of God, in reality became the leader and the general to fight the enemies. What do we learn from that? We learn that the man of peace, when his religion is tampered, when his children are being exposed to idolatry, as much as he is meant to be a man of peace, a man of tranquility, a man of representing the Almighty, he's also meant to be the man who fights for the rights to celebrate and to act and to fulfill the commandments of our holy religion. So none other than Mattatyahu Kohen Gadol and his children, who were the future priests in the temple, became the leaders of the warriors who protected, saved, and eventually defeated the Greek ancient empire and chased them away from the land of Israel. The warriors were simple farmers. The warriors were religious people. The warriors had had enough of imposition of idolatry in the house of the Lord. And that is what turned them to rebellion. But immediately after the victory, they all reversed back to the tranquil and peaceful roles in the Jewish community in Jerusalem. Traditionally, one candelabra per home is how the Jews would celebrate. Many places in Jerusalem and other cities in Israel have a special niche in the entrance of the house where the candelabra actually is placed. And so the mitzvah, the commandment of lighting, is lighting it in a public place, in a window that projects onto the outside, so that the miracle can be advertised to all the people who are crossing the streets. We light it in the evenings, just after sunset, and the mood is joyful and happy. The family gathers, the Chanukah is prepared, and everyone is part of the process of lighting. We recite on the first night, only the first night, 3 blessings. The first one is Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kideshanu v'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah. And then the first candle is lit. We say, we thank you, Almighty God, creator of the universe, who commanded us to light this light of Chanukah. The word Chanukah is of the essence in terms of the festival, and it means dedication. It's a time when we take the desecrated temple in Jerusalem, we purify it, and we once again rededicate it to the Almighty God. The second blessing is She'asa nisim la'avotenu bayamim hahem ubazeman hazeh. Almighty God, we the Jewish people, united in happiness and joy, trust that you performed great miracles for our fathers then, and you are able to perform more miracles for our fathers as well and for us now. The third blessing is one that we use only occasionally, and that's why it is required. If something occurs in Judaism infrequently, every time we celebrate that occasion, then we say the bracha shehechiyanu v'kiyemanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. We thank the Almighty for having kept us alive, for having kept us healthy, and for having given us the opportunity to once again celebrate this particular occasion. Thereafter, a special prayer called Hanerot Halalu is recited, which was composed by our great sages in the time of the Talmud. And then a psalm, which is Mizmor Shir Chanukah. That is Psalm 30, which actually talks about the dedication of the temple in ancient time. Because Chanukah means rededication, that psalm is very, very appropriate for this particular celebration. Our prayers of Chanukah tell us we have no permission to use anything stemming from these candles except to visually look at them and remember and relate to the history of the Maccabees, to the rededication of the temple, to the candelabra that burnt in the temple, and to the story of the miracle of the oil. So our fervent prayers as we light the Chanukah this year is that God should bring light unto the world, light unto the Jewish people, peace and tranquility to all humanity, and well-being to society in general.
Light the first of 8 tonight, the farthest candle to the right. Light the first and second too, when tomorrow's day is through. Then light 3 and then light 4, every dusk 1 candle more, till all 8 burn bright and high, honoring a day gone by, when the temple was restored, rescued from the Syrian lord. And an 8-day feast proclaimed, the Festival of Lights, well named, to celebrate the joyous day when we regained the right to pray to our one God in our own way.
Well, that's all we have for you this week. Thank you so much for joining us, and please tune in again next time for more. We love to hear from you, so please comment on our Facebook page at Spirit Sister Productions Network. As always, from me, Nikki, and the entire team, shalom and have a safe and peaceful week.